Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kanisha if you already don't know. And for today's video, we are going to be filming my mid-year book tag. I'm so excited to do this video because I did one last year and it was really fun. And I feel like I haven't given any monthly or wrap up or what I've been reading, what I really liked. So I thought, why not sit down and film just this mid-year book tag for you guys. So let's get into the video. So I have the questions on my notes app and I have the answers to and everything. So let's start with the first question. How many books have you read this year? And I've read 36 books. My reading goal for this year is to read 75. And I feel like I'm kind of on that pace, but not really. I've just been working a part-time job. So, it's very hard to find time to sit down and read some of these books. But hopefully I get back into the rhythm closer to July and August. Like usually the summertime is like when I kind of try to read more just because, it's summer. Those are the vibes. But yes, I've read 36 books this year and I feel like that's not bad. Obviously I don't want to compare myself to other people who have read many other books, but for me 36 is very good for me. So the next question is the best book you read so far in 2025, and it is none other than Beartown by Friedrich Backman. I love this book so much. Oh my god. It was featured in one of my videos. This video ends when I find a 5-star, and this was the book that ended the video. And this is my only 5-star read of this year so far. I haven't found anything else yet, but for right now, this is my only 5-star read. And I love this book so much. It is about a town that loves hockey. They bleed and die for hockey. And something kind of traumatizing happens in the town which affects other people in the town. So it's somewhat of a ripple effect. And yeah, it's done so well. Friedrich Backman just knows how to write and he is an amazing author. And yeah, I'm so excited to continue the rest of the Beartown series because there's 2 other books, and just also reading the rest of his books because I'm currently reading My Friends and so far it's so good. So yeah, this is definitely one of the best books I've read this year. Next question is the best sequel you read so far in 2025. And for me, I haven't really continued many series for some reason this year. But the one that I did continue and I loved it so much, it is Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. This is the 4th book in the Vancouver Storm series and oh my god, this is amazing. If you haven't read anything by Stephanie Archer, you need to right now, especially this series. Truly, it is amazing. It's one of my favorite hockey romance book series and I feel like it's done really well because sometimes hockey romances, they're just not done well, but this one is done really well and I just love Stephanie so much. But we follow our main characters, Alexei. I think I'm saying that right, hopefully. I don't know, it's a Russian name. Alexei is our NHL player, and then we have Georgia. I think she is like a chiropractor for them or something. She's something. She works for them basically. She works for the NHL. They kind of have to do a marriage of convenience, but it's also kind of inconvenient because they don't want to marry one another because they kind of dislike each other. It's kind of like a hate to lovers type of trope, not like an enemies to lovers. Because do they really hate each other? Want to kill each other? No, they just hate each other. So hate to lovers. The wedding scene was it was done so well, and I really love how Stephanie took kind of a different approach to the marriage convenience trope because I feel like it's always done exactly the same. This one's kind of a little bit different but still similar, but not exactly the same, if you know what I mean. And yeah, their banter was amazing. Truly, these characters, I was having so much fun reading it and I can't wait for the next book. I'm so excited and I feel like Stephanie is such an underrated author and I hope a lot of people start reading her books more because I feel like they deserve more hype on this app. Okay, 100%. The next question is most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. And I have 4. I think these ones are all still releasing this year. I could be wrong because obviously sometimes with publishing they could be pushed or moved, but I haven't seen any updates on that. So I'm assuming these ones are still coming out this year. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments, but the first one is Calabasas by R.F. Kuang, obviously. I technically did pick up The Poppy War, but I did stop it just because I think I just got extremely overwhelmed by the book. I think the book is written so good. Like, I love R.F. Kuang's writing, but I think stuff that was just happening personally in my personal life, I just had to stop reading that book. But I'm definitely gonna go back into The Poppy War because I really, really, really want to finish that series, and everyone loves that series for a reason. And I've read Yellowface by her. Really enjoyed that. Was it my favorite book? No, but I think it brings up the importance of how publishing companies are from minority groups kind of suffer in some of these publishing companies. So yeah, that was still definitely a good book. And Calabasas, very excited. Everyone has been talking about this book. I definitely want to read the books that you're not like required to read, but like you probably have a better understanding of Calabasas. So maybe I will make a video of me reading those books because some of those books are like classic books that I've just never read personally, but I've always been curious. So let me know if you want that video. Next we have is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, and we all know I love Once Upon a Broken Heart. That is like my favorite series by Stephanie Garber. I'm so excited for this one. I think this one is like I think it's an adult fantasy. I don't think it's a YA fantasy. Let me double check. Yes, so this is an adult fantasy. I think this is her first adult fantasy. I could be wrong about that, but I'm very excited to see what Stephanie does because obviously I adore her YA series. I didn't finish the Caraval series, but I read the first one. But that was like okay, but like Once Upon a Broken Heart, that was like amazing, and that was like the best thing ever. So I'm very excited about this one. This one I have no idea what it's really about. I've gotten to the point where I've stopped reading synopsis for a lot of books, which I feel like is not the best thing ever, but sometimes I feel like the synopsis could sometimes spoil stuff. I don't know. Like for me, I just, even like with movies, I don't really watch the movie trailers anymore. I just go into the movies and just watch because I think the trailers just spoil stuff for the movie. So yeah, I have no idea what this one is really about, but I think it's like a dark academia fantasy book. So that is all I know. And either way, I'm so excited because like I love Stephanie Garber, so obviously I'm gonna read any of her books. But yeah, that is one of my other anticipated reads. Then we also have Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I don't think I need to explain this book too much. It is the second book in like Bride. Like I don't think it's not like a whole series, but it's just like an interconnected standalone book. You know what I mean? This follows Misery's best friend from the first book, Bride. So if you haven't read Bride yet, I think you can read them as standalone, so you don't have to read it. You don't have to read Bride first, but Bride was literally amazing. You have to go read it anyways, because it was like probably one of Ali Hazelwood's best books ever. And I'm so excited to read Mates. Like, anything Ali Hazelwood literally writes, I will literally read. Because she just announced a new book today, and I'm like, girl, pre-order, 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 because I'm so excited. Like, I love that woman so much. And then the next book we have is Brimstone, and this is the Fae and the Alchemy series. The first book is called Quicksilver. So if you know that, you will know Brimstone. This is by Callie Hart. Quicksilver obviously took a big storm on Book Talk, being compared to like other book fantasy series, and honestly I really love Quicksilver. It was like one of the few favorite books I had last year, and I'm gonna probably have to reread it again because honestly I can't really remember exactly what happens because I just read it so long ago, and now the next book is coming out this year, so truly could not tell you, but I just know you can't read these as standalones. You have to read them as a series because I'm pretty sure the ending, there is somewhat of a cliffhanger. Like if I can remember, I think there is. Pretty sure. And usually there is. Like to continue like the next book. Usually it is. So I'm excited for this one. I have no other words besides the fact that this was like one of my favorite fantasy series, and I can't wait to see what else Kelly Hart writes because I really loved her writing. And yeah, those are the 4 like most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. There are definitely more books, but I just can't remember from the top of my head. But these are the 4 right now, and I feel like I probably could yap about some other releases, but we're gonna move on to the next question. So the next question is new releases you haven't read yet but want to, and the one that comes to mind is Bury Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. And yes, this is just the book sleeve. I just took it off the book cover because I'm planning on reading it like sometime this week. So, you know, you'll see a reading vlog at some point for that video. But this, I'm so excited to read. We all know I love The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Okay, I love that book so much. And when V.E. Schwab announced that she was like releasing toxic lesbian vampire book, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that, and I'm so excited. I've heard only amazing things about it, so I can't wait. This one's about like 3 women, 3 different timelines, so 1532, 1827, and 2019. So I'm very excited to read this. I feel like when I think of like 3 vampires, like female vampires, I just think of, I don't know if you watched it, but there's this movie called Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, and I feel like no one has seen this movie besides me, but this is just a thing that I watched when I was like when I was a child. Shouldn't have been watching that as a child, just to say that. But for some reason my dad just allowed me to watch that. So yeah, I think of like the 3 girls, like the 3 Dracula brides. That's what I think of when I think of like 3 female vampires. But that's probably not the image that, you know, it's supposed to be. But to me, that's what I'm thinking. That's like the aesthetic. I'm thinking of all of that. But yeah, that is one book. Very excited to read. Let's move on to the next question before I start rambling. Next one is biggest surprise. And the biggest surprise, I couldn't really pick one, to be honest, because I feel like I have kind of curated on how I like my books right now. But the one that I could really think of is Reign of Shadows and Ending by Melissa K. Roerich. I think that's how you say your last name. This is what it looks like. This is like a dark, dark romance fantasy. And I picked this book up just because I saw it on Kindle Unlimited. I was filming a video for it and I decided to pick it up. And I wasn't really expecting much from it. I thought it was just going to be like a typical dark fantasy book. It turns out I really, really, really loved it. Like, this is one of the books that I just could not put down while reading. Like, I just had to keep on reading. And I was like surprisingly shocked that I liked it, and the fact that I hadn't really seen it on Book Talk, even though it has like 40,000 ratings on like Goodreads. I feel like no one has really talked about it on Book Talk. So very happy that, you know, I got to read it, and I can't wait to continue the rest of the series because I literally have not. But if you are planning on reading this book, just check the trigger warnings, because this book, I would say, is like a dark, dark romance fantasy. You know, like, there's talk about like kind of like owning someone, because basically the plot is Fae are basically servants, like they're required to serve the legacies. So, you know, there's like that line between, I'm just gonna say that, okay? But yeah, just read trigger warnings. You know, this is not just like some fantasy romantasy book, okay? Like, this is a dark, dark romance fantasy book. So yeah. Anyways, next question. We have a favorite new author, and for me, I have 2. First one is The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. This is her debut novel, and this is quite literally the best book ever. Besides Bear Town, obviously. This, I do like obviously read some contemporary fiction books, like literary fiction books, and this one was just truly amazing. The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff, I have no words. Like, I truly cannot wait to see what else she writes, because this book, this book changed my life. You follow a family, you get 3 different POVs from this family, and you kind of see them go through something traumatic that changes their life, but also teaches them lessons and everything. Like, literally, one of the best books out there, and I think a lot of people need to read this book. And it's also a debut novel, so I'm like, why not? But yeah, really good, really heartwarming, but really sad, so keep that in mind. And then also the next author, I don't have the first book, I don't know where it is right now, but I have the second book. But this is the Ember and Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and this author, oh my god, I've seen this author like forever, and I don't know why I've never picked up the books before, because this series is so good. I've only finished the first one. I haven't read the second one yet, but the first one, loved it so much. It is a YA fantasy book with, I would say, like a subplot of romance. Like, don't go into this book thinking it's a romantasy. No, it is YA fantasy. There's a bit of like a military background dealing with like the rebels and the Republic. I think that's what they're called. I just can't remember from the top of my head. But truly, it was amazing. We have like 2 main characters. One is someone who kind of has access to the Republic. Like, they are born there, they're built into this system, but they really dislike that system. And then we have another main character who is from like the minority group. She is poor, she hates obviously the Republic, and she has lost her family because of them, kind of. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of tension, but it was written so well and I loved it so much. And yeah, I really want to get more into like fantasy books, like not like, I don't want a subplot of romance, like that's not gonna hurt anyone, but I want to focus more on like the fantasy. So yeah, like that's literally why I just started watching Game of Thrones. Like, I've never watched Game of Thrones before, and I've started watching it now, and I'm really enjoying it. I just finished House of the Dragon, which I don't know if I'm supposed to watch that before, but I just watched it before because, I mean, it's technically a prequel. But yeah, I've enjoyed that, and yeah, but that's all I have to say for that question. I don't want to ramble on for too long. And then the next question is newest fictional crush, and for me, I think it's gonna be Grimm from Lightlark, by Alex Asher. This book was so good, and I honestly hated myself for like not wanting to hop on the train for this book just because I heard like bad things about it. And I'm so happy that I just got into it, because why not? Like, this is dirty. First of all, it's dirty. It's just been like on the ground. But this was so good. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. Is it the best? Like, is it well written? Not really. But this is a YA fantasy. I'm not gonna be like critiquing a YA fantasy too hard. But this was like good. It was a fast-paced book. It was enjoyable. I really liked the world that Alex built. I liked the characters that she created. Yeah, and obviously love Grimm. The question is like my newest fictional crush, and I would say Grimm. This man could literally hit me with a truck. Okay, okay. Yeah, it was so good. But the chemistry between the other characters, loved it so much. Keep in mind, this is a love triangle, so you're gonna be like, which one are you gonna pick? I picked Grimm, because if it isn't Grimm, I'm gonna be very mad. But yeah, that is one of my favorite fictional crushes. I don't have too many this year. I don't know. I also just can't remember some of these characters, but I remember Grimm. He was like rememberable, so that's why he's included in this question. Next question we have is book that made you cry. This is gonna be a repeat because I actually haven't had too many books that made me cry. So we have The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff, and then we also have Beartown by Friedrich Beckman. So yeah, these two, they made me cry. Okay, both books made me sobbed my eyes out at 3 a.m. So yeah, obviously I highly recommend these two, and I think these two books are amazing, so keep that in mind, but keep in mind that it's very sad. Okay, it's very sad. The next question, because obviously I've already talked about those books, don't need to talk about them again or I will ramble on forever. The next question is book that made you happy. I picked two. First we have is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I think that's how you say the two authors like name, like because it's two authors and they just made like a, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking right now. It's like I have the word in my head, but for some reason the word is just not coming to me. Pen name. That's literally what I'm thinking about. I'm like, I literally couldn't think of the word that like associates, like when an author doesn't like give out their real name, they just have like a fake name. It's called a pen name. So yeah, these are the two authors, Sable Sorosin, Direbound. This, I'm telling you right now, like right now, I read this book a while ago, but I'm telling you right now, when this re-releases, okay, when this re-releases, there's gonna be like the big book talk book, okay, like it has dire wolves. We all know dire wolves. Game of Thrones. Obviously, I just talked about that, and obviously, like whatever is happening with dire wolves right now, I don't know what's happening. Like they came back or something like that. I don't know. There's like Deadly Trials. There's like a slow burn romance. It's just like the perfect like romanticy book, and I love this book so much. It is so good, and it made me, oh my god, it was just amazing. Like I'm so happy that I've like discovered this book. This is also a debut novel, so yeah, but the next book doesn't come out until next year, which kind of sucks because obviously it just got picked up by a publishing company, which obviously good for them. Good for them. But also I'm like, why did I start reading this? Why did I start reading this? Because literally the next day after I finished it, it got picked up. Yeah. So now we have to wait till next year, but this book, amazing. Loved it so much, and I'm so happy about it. And then the next book I also picked is Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. We know I love Ali Hazelwood. I don't know where the physical copy is right now. I have not seen it in a hot minute, so it's somewhere in this room. Who knows? But that book was amazing. I loved everything about it. You don't need to read Not in Love, which is technically the first book. It's like an interconnected standalone series. So yeah, you see the pattern that Ali Hazelwood is like giving, but you don't need to read the first one. I didn't read the first one. I just went to the second one, and I really loved it so much. I love the age gap. I love our MMC. He is like Irish. He's older than her. He calls her love. It was perfect. It was like a summer Italian wedding. Everything about it was so perfect. I was so happy when I read it. I was like, screaming. So yeah, those are the two books that have made me happy. I wouldn't say like happy. Obviously there's been like sad moments, but like I could talk about them forever. Okay, like if you ask me about those books in person, I will like talk to you about that book constantly and would never stop talking. The next question is most beautiful book you bought so far this year, or received. So the two that I picked, hopefully I can find them. Give me a second. So the two that I picked, one of them was sent to me, but the other one I bought myself. And I'm gonna show you the one that I bought myself. This is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. This is the deluxe edition. I think all the rest of like the books in the series will be getting like similar cover to this, so I'm so excited to see those when those come out because I literally love the series so much. Yeah, this is Rewind It Back. This follows Rio and Hallie's story. This is like a second chance romance, childhood, friends to lover. So yeah, obviously I haven't read it yet. I'm a person who is really bad at finishing series, especially if it's like the last book in the series, because sometimes I will just hold off because I don't want to say goodbye to these characters, and this is one of those moments where I just don't want to say goodbye. But this edition is gorgeous. We obviously have like the ombre sprayed edges. The front cover is literally so pretty. Obviously there is Chicago there. I think that's Chicago. Pretty sure it is because it's like it's based in Chicago, like the Windy City series. But yeah, everything about it is so pretty. I love it. Even like the spine is gorgeous. The back is pretty. But yeah, love this so much. One of the prettiest books I bought this year. And then the next book that was sent to me by Raincoast Books, it is Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. I love this cover. Also the sprayed edges. That's kind of like what made this book. Like why I love this book so much. Is because of the sprayed edges, and I feel like the cover is just gorgeous. I know it's just like a snake and there's hockey pucks, like hockey sticks. I don't know why I said pucks. Hockey sticks on that. And it's very simple, but I feel like even just like the background details, like, can you see that? Can you see it? I don't know. Maybe it's too bright. But you can see like a little bit of like a city there in the background in the landscape, which I really like. And I really like the little crescent like details, like the little outlines right there. Those are so pretty. And also similar to the back. And then obviously the sprayed edges. But also the cover art is beautiful. So yeah, this is such a pretty, gorgeous cover, and I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. And then the last question is, what book do you need to read by the end of the year? Okay, this one is tough because obviously I have a million books that I need to read by the end of the year. I'm gonna pick a few. I will be right back because I haven't picked them yet, but I will just be right back. Okay, I am back. I picked 4 books. This is editing Kanisha talking right now. I know I said pick 4, but when I filmed this, the author wasn't being canceled. So I took out the book that I was gonna read for this year. I'm not gonna read any of her books anymore, so yeah. Just wanted to let you know. But it's 3 books, not 4 now. Because I feel like if I picked more books, we could be here all day, and this video is probably over the how long I want it to be already. So yeah, but the first book I picked is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I am technically reading this right now. I picked it up earlier this year and I kind of stopped halfway-ish just because this is a very sad memoir. This book is very sad. Obviously it follows Michelle's relationship with her mom, but also just her life in her 20s, her Korean identity, which I feel like is a very important thing in this book. And yeah, and I feel like it's very relatable to me as a daughter of immigrants, and like an Asian daughter of immigrants. And also it's just very personal for me for like other things that I will not say. But yeah, this book, I do want to continue reading it at some point. I did annotate. I can't know if you can see the annotations, but I did annotate a few, and I hope I can finish it this year because it's not that long of a book, but it's just a lot for someone who, you know, kind of resonates with Michelle's story. So yeah. So the next book we have is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. This is a debut novel. I haven't seen anything from this author before, so I'm hoping it is a debut novel. But this is a romantasy, obviously. I haven't seen really anyone talk about it, but I remember seeing the cover and was very intrigued. And you know, I feel like I've been having so much fun with reading, you know, some debut novels. So I'm really excited for this one. I have no idea what this one is really about. And let's see what the synopsis says. My protector is gone, revealed to be a monster, but I remind myself that I am not a damsel. I am no princess bound within a tower. I am a shadow. Okay, very interesting. I'm very excited to read this one. But I was very intrigued by the cover. I'm just gonna say to you, I was convinced by the cover. I wasn't convinced by the synopsis or anything. I was convinced by the cover. But I think this is gonna be a really good book. I think it's gonna be up my alley. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. And the last book we have for this video, it is Shield of Sparrows by Devoney Perry. I have not read Devoney Perry's like other series, like her small town romance. What is it called? It's like Indigo Ridge, Jupiter Hill, or something like. It's like this series. I haven't read those yet because honestly, I don't really want to read about people living in like Montana, like white people living in Montana. Obviously I've read my share of like small town romances, but I feel like they all are kind of the same. So I think I'm gonna enjoy this more, like her first fantasy book. And if I do ever want to go into like the small town books, I could. I think they're on Kindle Unlimited. I think I saw them on Kindle Unlimited. They might have just been removed now, maybe, I don't know. But at any point I could like read their small town romances. I just feel like small town romances, they're always done exactly the same, and they kind of follow like the same book tropes. And obviously, like, I love like Elsie Silver, I love Lila Sage, but they're all kind of the same. So I think this is gonna be a really good introduction to Devney Perry. I'm very intrigued to see like her writing. That is like the one thing I'm really intrigued by. I've heard like pretty-ish good things about it. I was told that it's like not the best, but it's not terrible. So I think it's gonna be fun to read. I think, yeah, I have no other words to say besides the fact that this edition is stunning. I don't know why I did not include this in one of the beautiful books I bought this year, but yeah, this is a pretty gorgeous edition. But very excited to read this. Maybe you'll see this in a future vlog. Who knows? But that is the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this mid-year book tag. I know I've been really absent with YouTube. Like, I'm really trying. It's just very hard to find and make time to film videos, especially working. But you know, you'll see me post some videos here and there. But I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.